Welcome to Wheels Up with Sunrise on Wheels. I'm Michelle Newman. Today's program is all about inventions. And like all Wheels Up episodes, it has 3 segments. First, I'll take you on a trip to see some really cool inventions. Everything from robots to Legos to a real-life invisibility cloak. Next, we'll craft with Caroline, learning how to make an Origami Slinky, a fun robot, and watch her create a lava lamp. Finally, I hope you'll play along as we play Inventions Trivia.
An invention is any new thing created which improves the way something is done or introduces a new way of doing things. Inventions can be intentional or accidental, practical or fun. Let's take a trip around the world and look at some wacky and fun inventions. Let's begin by looking at some really cool robots. While robots have deep roots in science fiction, recently they've become a science fact, moving out of labs and into industry and households. Boston Dynamics has produced a number of 4-legged robots with names like Spot, the mobile robot designed for sensing, inspecting, and remote operation. Wildcat and Big Dog. Its robots can open doors, carry heavy loads, and run nearly 20 miles per hour. Its most recognizable product appears to be Atlas, the humanoid athlete that Boston Dynamics labels the world's most dynamic humanoid robot. It can walk on 2 legs, can now do a surprisingly elegant gymnastics routine, tumbling into a handstand, followed by cartwheels and including a jump twist. It's incredibly impressive given that this is a 330-pound robot that could barely walk in 2013 when the prototype was first developed. Atlas's movement in this routine is incredible human-like. Can you believe it? Lots of people have million-dollar ideas, but people rarely act on them. Mistakes, too, can sometimes even mean millions. If the timing is right, let's look at some fun toys and things that have been invented around the world. We're off to Denmark to look at how the most popular toy ever made, Legos, was invented. While simple block-shaped toys have been around for hundreds of years, it took a 20th century Danish genius named Ole Kirk Christensen to invent the incredibly popular interlocking pieces we know today as Legos. A master carpenter, Christensen began making wooden toys with his 12-year-old son in 1932. When he came across a British toy called Kittycraft self-locking building bricks, he improved on the idea, starting Lego Group, and began producing automatic binding bricks. Lego got its name from the first 2 letters of the Danish words, leg godt, meaning play well. Fun fact, in Latin, Lego means I assemble. The Lego block design still in use today was patented in 1958. Blocks from that year are still compatible with blocks made today, and everyone loves how these precise pieces fit firmly together yet can be easily taken apart. Over the last 50 years, the Lego Group has produced over 400 billion Lego blocks, and millions of children love playing with Legos. I know I do. What about you? Next, we're off to Spain, where a 9-year-old boy didn't just play with Legos, but he built himself an arm. David Aguilar was born without a right forearm because of a rare genetic condition. Unfortunately, it made him a target for bullies from a young age. But he used Legos from different sets to create his own prosthetic arm. He's gone on to make 4 more, with each allowing for more movement than the previous versions. Pretty awesome, right? Have you ever wanted to know how chewing gum was invented? Ancient civilizations like Aztecs and Greeks have used forms of chewing gum made naturally from gum trees. It wasn't until the 1860s that John Colgan, a pharmacist, created the first flavored gum made from tulu, balsam tree extracts, and sugar coating. He called it Taffy Tolo. Colgan then patented a chewing gum chip machine which cut chewing gum into symmetrical treats. In 1928, Walter Dimer was experimenting with new gum recipes in Pennsylvania and discovered a formula which was less sticky but retained flavor for longer. It was named Double Bubble, and to help sell it, he taught salesmen how to blow bubbles. That's how we got the world's first bubble gum. Now let's go to California to see how the hula hoop came about. Wham-O Toy Company founders Richard Neer and Arthur Spud Meelan didn't have to do much inventing at all. After hearing about Australian children playing with bamboo hoops during gym class, the two decided to recreate the bamboo hoops out of a then cutting-edge plastic called Marlix. Whammo's hula hoop sparked a craze that swept the nation, with 40 million selling in the first year alone. International orders pushed the total over 100 million, netting them $45 million. Only a few years later, they'd put their knowledge of toys to good use when they marketed their next big invention, the Frisbee. In California in the 1980s, engineer Scott Stillinger was teaching his kids to catch when he had an incredible aha moment. The idea, a ball made out of colorful rubbery fibers that are easily grabbed by tiny fingers. Initially, he made it with rubber bands. Stillinger named his creation Koosh because of the sound it made when it landed in his hand. He went on to sell them in a rainbow of colors and sizes. Hasbro bought the Koosh ball for $100 million in 1997, and Time magazine named it one of the greatest toys of all time. What do you think of this creepy crawly? Ken Hakuda introduced the Wacky Wall Walker to the world in the 1980s. The simple rubber toy octopus with sticky legs was made to be abused. Need to blow off a little steam? Throw that wacky 8-legged octopus against the wall. Watch it cling, start to quiver, and then begin its slow but wacky tumble down the wall. Slimy things have always enticed, and bugs always excite. When you put the two together, 250 million get sold to make one of the biggest fads since the Slinky. Space travel may be remarkable, but what about a gun that's able to fire water a distance of up to 50 feet? That just might be aerospace engineering's greatest contribution. In 1982, inventor and engineer Lonnie Johnson designed the Super Soaker, a water blaster that's become one of the world's best-selling toys ever. And it happened by accident. Mr. Johnson was working at home on a new kind of cooling device. He was tinkering with parts for his device when he experienced his squirt gun eureka. He built a prototype for his 6-year-old daughter, and rave reviews from around the neighborhood convinced him it had commercial potential. It doesn't take decades of life experience to have a great idea. In fact, you don't even have to be old enough to have a driver's license, as many of these young inventors have proven. In San Francisco, thanks to the short attention span of 11-year-old Frank Epperson, we now have popsicles. Epperson was stirring powdered drink mix into a cup of water when something else caught his attention. The concoction was forgotten on his porch, and when he discovered the drink in the morning, it was a deliciously portable frozen lollipop. He started selling the treat, applied for a patent, and changed its name to what it's called today, Popsicle. Have you ever seen the microwave rack which cooks bacon strips perfectly while catching excess grease in a drip pan? It was the brainchild of an 8-year-old girl named Abby Fleck. Abby was helping her parents with breakfast one morning when they ran out of paper towels to sop up the grease. After wondering why they couldn't just hang the bacon like laundry and let the extra fat drip off, she and her dad fashioned a successful prototype out of plastic hangers and dowel rods. She has since sold 2.7 million Macon Bacons through Walmart alone. 10-year-old Richie Stachowski was snorkeling for the first time with his dad in Maui, Hawaii. Excited by some exotic sea turtles and eels swimming by, Richie became frustrated when he couldn't get his dad's attention to show him. After looking for an underwater talking device and finding none, he decided to invent his own. 3 months later, he pitched his water talkies to Toys R Us. A short 2 years later, he sold his company for $7 million. Unable to find a treat that his newly adopted dog Barkley enjoyed, 9-year-old Ryan Kelly consulted veterinarians, experimented with various dog-friendly flavors, and threw on an apron as he got to work in his mother's kitchen. The result? A treat Barkley loved, as did all the dogs in the neighborhood. At 10 years old, Ryan introduced his new business on Shark Tank, and he now sells his products under the name Rise Ruffery. K.K. Gregory, a 9th grader from Bedford, Massachusetts, became an inventor-entrepreneur at the age of 10. After a New England snowstorm, K.K. was in her yard building a snow fort with her younger brother. Although she had dressed for the cold, K.K. was frustrated because snow kept finding its way up the sleeves of her coat. KK developed wristies, a fleece that fits snugly over her forearms and hands with fingers free. The sleeve extends only as far as the palm of the hand, and there's a slit for the thumb to anchor the sleeves in place. She applied for a patent, trademarked the name, and started a company. Wristies are taking the world by a storm. Every day there are new and exciting inventions happening, and there are some really cool ones that I'm keeping my eyes on. A baby mop outfit? It's a baby onesie that is equipped with mop-like pads and shags on the part of your baby that are most likely to become contact with the floor. How about a Drogbella? An invented umbrella that protects small dogs from the rain. It has a handle above it so a person can hold it and the leash attaches to the underside. No more wet doggy smells. Research at Washington University in St. Louis, Missouri has developed a method of creating smart bricks that can store energy like a battery. HoverSurf, a Russian drone startup, created the Scorpion 3 hover bike, which is a cross between a motorcycle and a quadcopter. A human-carrying drone hopes to be the next step in accessible amateur flying. Wouldn't you love to have Harry Potter's invisibility cloak? Stay tuned. Canadian camouflage company Hyperstealth Biotechnology has applied for patents related to their quantum stealth. An inexpensive and paper-thin material works by bending light around a target to either alter its position or make it vanish altogether, leaving only the background visible. Well, our journey to see incredible inventions around the world has come to an end. Which one was your favorite?
Hi, my name is Caroline and I'm so excited to do arts and crafts with you. Today's video was all about different kinds of inventions. So today we're going to make a few crafts that were all invention themed. The first one is a slinky because it's one of my favorite inventions and they're really fun to play with. So we're going to make a paper slinky. The second thing, in the video you saw robots, so we're going to make a paper robot. And the third thing we're going to do is a very cool science experiment where we're going to make our very own lava lamp. I hope you have fun! So this is the Origami Slinky I made ahead of time. And if you take one thing that is higher than another, or if you put it on some stairs, it goes down just like a real slinky. So the longer you make it, the more stairs it can go down. So I already have some paper that is in a square, but if you don't, you can take some regular construction paper. And what you need to do is you can fold one corner in a triangle like this. And then if you take some scissors, you can cut this part off, then open it up and it will be a perfect square piece of paper. So now I have my square piece of paper, and the first step is we're gonna fold it in half this way, then crease it, then open it back up, and then we're gonna fold the bottom one to the middle, the crease you just made, then open it back up, then you're gonna fold this top part to the crease you just made, so the bottom line. Then open it back up. Then we're gonna take this and fold it in half this way. Then open it back up. Then take this side and fold it to the middle. Then this side to the middle. Then you could take this side and fold it over. Now you can take the bottom and you're going to fold it to this top line. So just like that, crease it, then open it back up. And this is a little bit tricky, but you're going to open it up, and then if you fold it in from the creases you made, it's a little bit tricky, but it makes this shape. So now you can create as many of these as you want, and then I'll show you how to connect them all together to make the Slinky. So I'm just going to show you that last part one more time because it's a little hard to do. But once you have this, you're going to open it up, and now you have this line. Now you're going to open it up. Now you have a little V. Then you can fold it in. If you need to, you can crease them a little bit more, so now they're more defined. But now you're going to push it in and then fold it up. So now I have both of my pieces that I just made, and as you can see, each side on each piece is different. So here it looks like a V, and here it looks like a W. Same with this one. This one looks like a W, and this one looks like a V. So on each one, you want the V and the W to go together. So this is the W and this is the V. So as you can see, it's gonna slide together. So it might be easier if you take the one with the V and you open it up a little and you put one piece like that. Then there's this piece with two that's folded together, and so you're gonna leave that in the middle. Then open this side and put this in here and fold and cover that. So now we have both of our pieces covered, and now you can kind of fold it, and you might have to move it around a little bit so that it stays. And now you can just slide them together. And now you have these two pieces, and now I'm going to connect them to my Slinky. So now we're going to connect it just like we did last time. So this is my V and this is my W. So you can lie it down and open the V and put one on one side, and then put this in the middle, and then this on here, and then cover it, and then kind of fold it, and then you can kind of slide it in a little bit more, and now it's connected. For the robot craft, you will need a sheet of paper for the robot's body, a half a sheet of paper for the robot's head, some shapes that you cut out from paper, all different kinds of shapes to decorate the robot, some glue, some scissors, and some markers or crayons or paint or something that you can use to decorate. Okay, so now we're gonna make our paper robot. So I pre-cut all of these different shapes because we're gonna make our robot out of all different kinds of shapes. So I used one whole piece of paper for the body, a rectangle for the head, some pieces for the arms, and then these are just to decorate. So first, I'm gonna use a short rectangle like this, and I'm gonna glue it to my body to connect the head. And you can use whatever color pieces of paper you want. So now put some more glue, and then glue my head on top. And now I'm gonna put my eyes and my mouth on my head. So I'm gonna use some purple eyes. So I just have 2 cut out circles. And then I'm gonna use a black marker and put a circle inside and then color it in. Okay, now I'm gonna use this for the mouth. So this might be a little bit big, but that's okay. Because robots don't really smile. They kind of just have a face like this. So now we can decorate our robot's body. So robots have a lot of different shapes. So I cut out some triangles and some squares and some circles. You guys can use whatever shapes you want to decorate your robot. You can also use tin foil if you have, because robots are made out of metal. You can also put some tin foil on your robot. Okay. And now we're going to put our robot's arms on. So I have some long rectangles. If you want, you can do this to make it look more like a robot arm. You can fold a little bit and then fold it back and then back and then continue doing that all the way across. And this is going to make it look really cool and like kind of 3D, like this. And so now you can glue this on both sides of your robot. And then I cut out some semicircles for my robot's hands. And then after we're done with this, we're gonna add the robot's antennas and his ears and whatever else you want to add, you can. You guys can also, maybe you can name your robot and then you can write its name on it. And now I cut out some triangles for my robot's ears. So I'm gonna put those on the side of his head. And now I have some thin rectangles I'm gonna use for his antenna. You can also draw a design on its body if you want, whatever you want to add, but this is my finished robot. So now we're gonna make our very own lava lamp. So what you need is some vegetable oil. This is some vinegar, some baking soda, food coloring, a tall glass, and some measuring spoons and a spoon. So the first step is we're going to put 3 tablespoons of baking soda into our tall glass. And it doesn't have to be perfectly leveled. Now we're going to add our vegetable oil. And there isn't really a measurement, but I'll show you about how much to add. So about that much. And then this is my vinegar. And now we're gonna add 3 drops of food coloring to here, and you can use whatever color you want. 1, 2, 3. Then I'm gonna use my spoon and mix it a little bit. So I turned off the lights so you guys will be able to see it a little bit better, but before I do it, don't mix the baking soda and the oil, because part of the reason why this works is because when baking soda is with a liquid, it makes bubbles. So when we add the vinegar is heavier than the oil, so it's going to make a lot of bubbles and it's going to create a big reaction. So I'm going to turn on my flashlight on my phone, and I'm going to put this like that, and now I'm going to pour this in. So if you want it to last longer, you can add more vinegar, but it creates a lot of bubbles and it creates a very cool lava lamp, and the bubbles are going up and down. So if you want to see it a little bit longer, you can always add more vinegar. I hope you liked this really cool science experiment. You can even hear the bubbles. I hope you had fun making these invention-themed crafts with me. Bye!
Welcome to Inventions Trivia. There are 10 questions, 4 answers, only one of which is correct. Today I'm playing with my friends Linda, Sherry, and Janet. I hope you play along and shout out your answer. Who's ready to play? Question number 1. In what country was Lego invented? A. China, B. Denmark, C. England, or D. Spain? What country do you think Lego was invented? Answers, please. And the answer is Denmark. Number 2. How were popsicles invented? A. Slushy drink was left on the porch. B. Sweetened water was poured on snow. C. Honey was frozen in the freezer. Or D. Eskimos froze orange juice in their igloos. And the answer is A. Slushy drinks were left on the porch. Question number 3. What is the name of the robot that can walk and do gymnastics tricks? A. Spot, B. Wally, C. Atlas, or D. R2-D2? What was the name of that robot? They could do amazing gymnastics. Answer is Atlas. Question number 4. It was a tricky one. Who created the Super Soaker? Was it astronaut Neil Armstrong, space engineer Lonnie Johnson, 11-year-old Frank Epperson, or D. President Ronald Reagan? Who created that big Super Soaker? And the answer is space engineer Lonnie Johnson. Question number 5. The first bubble gum was called what? A. Big Chew, B. Tasty Gum, C. Bubble Yum, or D. Double Bubble? What was the name of that first bubble gum? And the answer is Double Bubble. Question number 6. What has 8 arms, looks slimy, sticks to the wall, and has helped make a Washington entrepreneur a millionaire? A. The Wacky Wall Walker, B. Octopus, C. A Sticky Wicket, or D. The Blob? What was its name? And the answer is Wacky Wall Walker. Question number 7. What company is the main manufacturer of the hula hoop? A. Mattel, B. Whammo, C. Amazon, or D. Nerf? Kind of hard, but I think you ladies are all in the time frame you should know. And the answer is Whammo. Question number 8. What idea did 11-year-old Ryan Kelly pitch for Shark Tank? A. A delicious healthy cookie, B. A new way to make popcorn, C. Dog treats, or D. A children's cookbook? And the answer is dog treats. Question number 9. What is special about 8-year-old Abby Fleck's invention, Makin' Bacon? A. It cooks bacon faster, B. It makes bacon crisp, C. The grease is easily collected, or D. It can be used in the oven? The answer is the grease is easily collected. Cool. Okay, question number 10, our last and final one. What did 9-year-old boy David Aguilar build out of Legos? A. A prosthetic arm, B. A robotic leg, C. A personal robot, or D. A Lego bed? A. A prosthetic arm. I'm crazy.
That was really amazing.
Yeah, and he's done 4 of them and started really young.
3 of us.
So all tied. Very good,
Right.
lady. You did a great
Good job, lady.
Well, that was fun. I hope you enjoyed and played along with Inventions Trivia. How many did you get right? See you next time for more Wheels Up.